Hello, everybody. Welcome, class of 2024. This is Pasquale Cusimano, the principal at Adams. We're here tonight. We just wanted to have, because we weren't able to have 8th grade parent night and we weren't able to have 8th grade lunch visits, we wanted to connect with you guys, introduce ourselves, and give you a little bit of information about what's to come in the fall. So before we get started with introductions, we'd like to start off with a video that kind of will show you what it's like to be a Highlander and what Highlander pride is all about. Well, we hope you enjoyed that. It never gets old for us to watch those type of things because it highlights the achievement, the tradition, the culture of our students and of Adams High School since 1970. So we're very proud of that, but we hope you enjoyed that video. It kind of gives you a taste of what Highlander Pride's all about and what your students will be a part of the next 4 years. Well, my name is Pasquale Cusimano. Like I said, I am the lucky, proud, honored principal to serve Rochester Adams High School. The students, the staff, and the community are the best in the world. It is amazing, and I love it. But anyways, This is a picture of my family. I have two younger kids, Alexa and Dario, and my wife Eugenia. And you can see on the couch there our cat Tiggy. And so that's our family, just so you know a little bit about us.
Hi guys, my name is Todd Kelcomugio. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Adams. It's like Pasquale said, I'm an honored member of this administration team. Very happy to be here tonight to say hi to everyone. I'm also a family, a Brewster Van Hoosen Adams family. My wife Alicia, my older daughter Addison, who will be starting her sophomore year at Adams next year, and then my younger daughter Alexa will be a 7th grader at Van Hoosen next year, and that's our family pet, Tia. This is a fun picture of my family that I love to share, with families, especially when Addison's around and in the crowd, and then when hopefully in the future when Lexi's around and in the crowd. So it is nice to meet everybody.
Hi everybody, my name is Luke Swanson. I'm the other assistant principal here, just wrapping up my first full year at Adams High School, and I've absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. This is a picture of my wife Hannah and our 2-year-old Everett. This was when he was 1 year old, and we are expecting our second baby in August. So by the time I see your son or daughter walking the hallways and enjoying school, hopefully we will have our second child in home. So it's having been other places and seen other districts, this is an absolutely special place to be. And I'm honored to be working with this great staff and to be mentoring your son and daughter.
Well, we share those, just before I introduce Barb Brill, our PTSA president, why we share those pictures of ourselves and our families, and you'll get to know the rest of our staff, is we pride ourselves to make sure kids understand that we are human beings. We have families. We're going through the same, through this COVID situation, we're going through the same struggles and things at home with our kids and our work and our school and their schooling. So, you know us now, and class of 2024, you'll see that we are very active. We want to get to know you. We want you to come talk to us. We want you to say hi. We want you to come ask for help. And we will definitely try to get to know all of you in next fall when we get to be together. So, but I'd like to introduce the next part is our PTSA president, Barb Brill, and the PTSA at Adams is very special. And they help us do a lot of things that make Adams very unique and very special. So Barb.
Thank you, Mr. Cusimano. Hello, future Highlanders. I just wanted to talk. I'm Barb Brill. I'm the current PTSA president, and we are going to have a new president next year. Her name is Kim Kelly. She is from Van Hoosen. But you can contact me at any time. My email is on the website. And I would like to say I have a junior and a freshman in college. So I have been involved in the PTA for about 12 years. So welcome. The biggest recommendation I can say to you is to get your students involved. PTSA is one way to do that. We have 9 committees that 8th graders can join and get involved in. You should have received a student application in your school newsletter. If you have questions, please reach out to us. Last year we had over 100 students participate in our committees. The high school PTSA is still very involved with staff grants for our student learning. So if you are able, please become a member and donate to our one and done in the fall. Thank you. We look forward to welcoming you in person.
Thank you, Barb. And parents, our high school doesn't mean that we want all our parents involved. Your students might not want you in the building there sitting with them at lunch or in the classroom anymore, but we as a staff want all of our parents in the building. We have tons of things that we ask for help. We do tons of events that without the PTSA would not be possible financially, and just with the sheer amount of volunteers that we need to run something that we run. So please get involved. It's high school. We want you to stay involved. Okay. The next part, we just want to talk a little bit about Adams High School and what our expectations are. We have 3 things that we always talk about. We talk about achievement, we talk about character, and we talk about culture. And I'd like to go a little bit further into those. So the first one is achievement. Achievement is just how kids are doing academically, how they're doing in their, you know, are they doing the best they can in everything that they're doing? And that's what we look at it with achievement. Are they maximizing their potential? Mr. Cal, can you move to the next slide, please? And when we talk about achievement, we talk about, you know, if you follow Adams High School, our kids do really well. We're always ranked the top, you know, top academic school, you know, through the US News. We're always got gold status, which means we're the top 500 schools in Michigan, and I'll share a little bit more data on the next slide. If you look at the rankings and you talk about our students achieving, and if you look at this list, so out of 951 high schools in the state, Adams is ranked number 5, and we've been consistently ranked in the top 5. And that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with Mr. Cal or any of these people on this Zoom. It really has to do with the 3-prong approach that we always talk about. We have awesome students, we have awesome parents and community members, and we have an awesome school district. And our teachers are amazing. And it's just that combination of high expectations and nurture and caring that help these kids do really well on the SAT and the ACT and all these type of tests that we get measured on. So it's pretty, if you look at all those schools mainly on that list are international, smaller type schools with 484 kids, 489 kids. And here we have 1,600 kids, and we're ranked right there with those schools. So achievement is really high, and we're very proud of that at Adams High School. The next thing this is even more important, just as important as achievement, we talk about character. How do our kids behave? How do they treat each other? How do they conduct themselves in the hallways at events? This is just as important to us when we talk about the whole child. Yeah, they're doing well in class, but do they respect people? Do they respect themselves? Do they say hi to people when they're walking by? Do they clean up their mess at the lunchroom? Do they help a classmate out or a teacher out when they see somebody needs something? This is just something that we pay attention to just as much as academics. And we're very proud at Adams High School, and thank you parents, because without the foundation that you guys give these young men and women, when they come to us, they're mostly already polite, they care, they want to do well, they respect people, and we nurture that and we continue that at school so that they see that, wow, what my parents are teaching me is exactly what our teachers are teaching us. So character is something that we really focus on as well as academics and achievement. And the last thing that we talk about is culture. And you saw the video about all that Highlander pride that we strive on that. Like, it's something that the kids, when they graduate, and I've heard it from the last 3 classes that graduated, like they leave with this Highlander pride that they never forget, that they feel special that they went to Rochester Adams High School. And they talk to their other college classmates or their people they work with, and they say that other people can't share the same stories that they have about the culture. And I'll give you some examples of the culture. And if you watch these next 2 videos, you're going to see that this is all 1,600 of our kids in the gym. And this is the homecoming assembly, which is usually the first 2 weeks of school. And you'll see that the culture of knowing our school alma mater, the song, and our fight song is pretty special. But watch these 2 videos, and this kind of capsulates the culture that we have at Adams, that we're building and we're continuing to build here at Adams. from the get-go, the students feel a sense of belonging and a sense of culture, of pride in the Adams tradition. Again, since 1970, it's something that I created or that Mr. Swanson, Mr. Cal created. It says this is built over the years, and our students live, they thrive off of it, and they really enjoy. As you can see, being the top, if you get a picture of that, you saw those kids dancing and jumping around and having a good old time. Would you expect that out of the top 5 academically, successful schools in Michigan? People always say Adams must be a boring place and that's all they do is study. But you saw kids are jumping around and having a good old time. We want that mixture of enjoying coming to school and doing well in their classes. So we talk about those 3 things: achievement, character, and culture. And I will reveal that you saw the Highlander in those couple videos. That was Mr. Swanson on his first 2 weeks of work at Adams High School, and he got in the Highlander. We needed a Highlander, and he got in there and took care of that for us. So, all right. The next person a very important person I'd like to invite to talk to you a little bit is Mr. Brian Lindstrom, who is a teacher, an awesome teacher here at Adams. He's our student council teacher, our leadership class. And he's our activities director, amongst many other things that he does at Adams. But I'd like to give him an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about activities at Adams High School.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cusimano. So excited to finally get to talk to everybody. We had done this a few times over where we were practicing and preparing to meet our 8th graders coming in. And we can't wait to meet this class. We've heard great things from both schools and all over the place of everybody coming in. So I just want to really quick take a few minutes to talk about the clubs at Adams. As Mr. Cusimano and the principals have stated, we have really high expectations, but we also love to have fun. We had 738 club members register for clubs last year. And if kids aren't involved in band or athletics or choir, it's another outlet for kids to be involved in. And we have clubs ranging from the foreign language clubs to our robotics program, which travels all over the state and country. We have an awesome debate program. We also have Model United Nations that tackle world issues. So we've had a huge variety of clubs. And again, we have to talk about our theater program. Our theater program is absolutely amazing with over 80 kids that are part of that. So the very first thing when you guys get to Adams High School that we want you to do is we want you to check out the clubs to get involved and be a part of the activities. Usually the second week of school, we host a club fair. What that's going to look like this year might be something a little bit different, but we want all the clubs to get the information out to everybody. So we usually wait until about the second week of school and get everybody through our club fair so they can take a look at them. They meet some of the students who are the leaders and involved with those different clubs. I'll give you the times and dates and everything else that we have to go forward with it. My second role is student council, and at Adams High School, student council is a class. And so during this class, we work on our big events, homecoming, our canned food drive, our charity weeks, and really just spirit days throughout the week and this and that. As over the course of the past few weeks, we've been doing virtual spirit weeks, and we put on the Senior Oscar Award show and stuff. So you guys will have freshman student council representatives, and it will be their job to go around to the different freshman classes throughout the year to get in touch with everybody so they don't miss out on events that are going on. So our representatives go out to the freshman classes and kind of explain, what they're looking for homecoming and what to look for spirit weeks, and really stress the participation that we have at the school. So those are my 2 roles. Anything that you need can be found on our website on the activities page. We have links to all the different clubs, the different sponsors for the clubs, and my email address is on there as well. But we would absolutely love to have you guys check that out, and we're super excited to have you guys with us.
Just also a reminder, we included an electronic packet with this program tonight with the link that we sent out. We included that electronic packet that we usually would give you a folder with that information. In there, there's something about clubs, and understand that students create new clubs every year, and it's just a matter of getting people involved. So there's no limit on the possibilities of clubs. They always change. So, because kids' interests change. So thank you, Mr. Lindstrom. I now would like to introduce and welcome our athletic director, Mr. Jason Rapp, to talk a little bit about athletics, even though a lot of it's unknown, but he's going to cover a little bit about athletics.
Well, greetings, parents from the class of 2024. I'm Jason Rapior, Athletic Director. And just to follow up on Mrs. Rill, what Mr. Cusimano and Mr. Lindstrom have already said, I strongly encourage you and your students to get involved in extracurriculars, whether it be athletics, activities, band. It's just tremendous amount of opportunities we have here at Adams to enhance the time that your students have here. So strongly encourage that. In regard to the fall athletics, the slide before you has the specific dates for sports and the official start times or start days. But with the COVID pandemic, specific details regarding tryouts and conditioning, those are on hold for now. So we will have information communicated in the upcoming weeks on the Adams Athletic website, adamshighlanders.com. And we just ask for your patience, as Mr. Cusimano mentioned. We're still working through that, and we'll hopefully get those details out as soon as we can as things start to loosen up. Also be reminded that athletes all need a physical exam before they can practice or try out. And in light of the pandemic conditions, if they had an exam last year dated after April 15th of 2019, it will be suitable along with a completed health questionnaire form. Those details regarding the physical exam is on the athletic website as well. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you in the fall and wish you a restful summer.
Thank you, Mr. Rapp. Just kind of piggybacking on what they said, involvement is huge in the success of the students here at Adams. Most of the kids at Adams do not just come to school and do academics and go home. A lot of them are involved in many extracurriculars, which is fun because we get to watch them do other things, which is kind of neat. So try to find something. If we don't have something, let's figure it out, and then maybe we can create a new club, a new thing at Adams. So the next couple teachers I want to introduce are Mr. Eddie Bogoslowski and Mr. Jerry Bondi, who are the coordinators for our Link Crew, which is our 9th grade mentor program. Very important part of the transition from middle school to high school. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves and talk a little bit about what they do and what the program's about.
Hello, I'm Jerry Bondi. I'm one of the science teacher at Adams, and then also I'm one of the 2 Link Crew coordinators. I'll let my partner introduce himself as well.
I'm Eddie Bogoslowski. I'm also a science teacher at Adams and one of the other coordinator for the Link Crew program.
So what Link Crew is it's a transition program specifically designed for incoming freshmen to have a good quality transition to high school. So what we do is we pair up upperclassmen that we select the year before. We select upperclassmen that we really focus on. They're kind individuals, people that we know are going to be a great mentor for your students. We pair them up right at the beginning of the year. In a perfect world, what we would do is we pair them up before school starts and we do our big orientation. More on that as we figure out all the details coming up later on. And then those juniors and seniors, which we call our Link leaders, would then stay with your freshmen throughout the entire school year to act as mentors, to be the people that they can go to when they have questions, comments, concerns about what's going on in school. The goal here is to make the transition more effective and better for your incoming freshmen.
So a couple things that we do throughout the year. We're going into our 3rd year at Adams of Link Crew. And so each year we try to add more and more things. The big thing that happens at the beginning of the year is the high school orientation. And however that looks this year, we have plans in place. If it's in person, great. We're also working on, if we're not able to do that, some way to welcome the freshmen before their first day of school. So they'll receive information about classes, how the school works, meet other freshmen and their Link leaders. Then throughout the year, we have a couple different categories of follow-ups. So we try to do some academic follow-ups where the Link leaders are there to support the freshmen through study skills, how to succeed in the classroom, if they need any help with maybe finding a tutor or something like that. All of our academic follow-ups are focused around that stuff. Then we also try to do social follow-ups throughout the year. Some things we've done in the past, we've done a trunk or treat on Halloween where freshmen get to go out to Link Leaders cars, where they decorate their cars and pass out candy. We do sometimes a winter holiday event with snow cones and other things like that, but things that get the students together with other freshmen and the Link Leaders outside of an academic setting. And then throughout the year, our Link Leaders know to contact their freshmen if there's anything they need help with, just to check in how they're doing, especially at the beginning of the year as we get close to their first homecoming and everything like that. We have a lot of leader initiated contacts where our juniors and seniors are taking the lead to contact their freshmen and get in contact with them.
Now, taking a look at this slide here, again, as we've mentioned already on a few other slides, all of these dates are tentative. These are what we had planned for before the pandemic. So we have them displayed here. The big things that we've done in the past is we've done the orientation, which is where your freshmen come in and they spend a morning with us in the Link Leaders. And we go through a series of activities where we get to know the freshmen and really start to transition them to the high school experience. Then the following day after is when we do the actual registration process, where we get your students, all of their forms get turned in, and they get their course schedules, and they do all of the official registration stuff. We do that the day after. We break them up into 2 separate days, just we don't have to cram it all in on one. Again, all of these dates, as we've listed, are tentative. We'll have more information as we get closer to the actual orientation and registration process. Thank you.
And just here's some pictures from our last year's orientation. We have all 400 plus freshmen and 130 or so Link Leaders in the gym together in the stands. Mr. Bondi goes out there and does a big spiel to get them moving and interacting, but it's a really, really great opportunity before their very first day of school to meet other freshmen and meet their leaders.
Awesome. So 2 things about Link Crew. One, thank you to our PTSA, Barb Rill under her leadership and the whole PTSA. They funded this Link Crew for us at Adams to get going 3 years ago. So without them, Mr. Bondi and Mr. Bogoslawski, through the PTSA funding, got to go get trained, went for 3 days, I think, 3 days, and then maybe another 2 days after that to get, they were professionally trained to come back and train the student leaders to then take care of the kids. So thank you, PTSA, for that. And it's a phenomenal program. And I just want to tell you that the Link Leaders, the students that are chosen, go through a process through our staff to recommend students who are leaders, who are good people, who are take care of others, not necessarily our straight A students who are not very social. It's really kids who have that really good social skills and really care about high school and really, really live that Highlander pride that we've been talking about. So your kids are getting partnered up with some good Highlanders. So that's a good thing. So, all right. So that we look forward to that, and we don't know what that's going to look like. The last part of our program, I know our counselors got ahead of the game in March because they're so awesome. Right when we were going out in March, they decided to do a little video to explain how scheduling works and how all that stuff works. They sent out a video for you guys so that way you guys, because we would normally do that at 8th grade parent night, and they knew 8th grade parent night was getting canceled. So this is a little bit of a repeat. So they're going to go through their stuff and maybe not touch some stuff that already have passed. But I'm going to let our counselors introduce themselves. They are tremendous support at Adams. They're an integral part of what we do. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves and cover a little bit about that.
Hi, parents and future Highlanders. Welcome to Adams. We're so excited to work with your students this coming fall. Would have been nice to meet them in March, but we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to look forward to seeing them when we get back in August. We hope you had a chance to view our counselor welcome video that Mr. Cusimano just mentioned. We posted that under 8th grade parent night on the Adams website back in March. Today, we're going to give you a quick overview of graduation requirements, as well as share the 3 categories of academic recognition with you. We encourage you to use this information to create a 4-year plan with your son or daughter. Before we get started, we're going to introduce ourselves so you know who your child's counselor is. I'm Mrs. King, and I work with the students whose last names begin with A through DOB.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Falkowski. I work with students whose last names begin with DOC through JA.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bellamo. I have students with the last names JB through OB.
Hi there, I'm Mrs. Clement. I work with students' last names OC through S.
Hi, future Highlanders. I'm Ms. Parliament, and I have students' last names T through Z.
All right, let's take a look at this first slide. This gives you an overview of the graduation requirements that all students need to meet during their 4 years at Adams. As you can see, there's a breakdown in each subject area, which we'll go through with you, but overall students need a total of 22 credits to graduate. And then let's go to the next slide. So of those 22 credits, 4 of them fall under the category of English. So students will have an English class in their schedule every year, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And we will go over in more detail each year that we schedule with your son or daughter what those options are.
Students need 3 credits in social studies in order to earn their diploma, and that has to include 1 credit of world history or big history, typically taken in 9th grade, 1 credit in US history or AP US history in 10th grade, and then a half a credit of government and a half a credit of economics, typically taken between 11th and 12th grade. Students also need to earn 3 credits of science, and those have to include 1 credit in physical science, again, also taken usually in 9th grade, 1 credit in biology, and then a 3rd year science credit, which can either be a credit in chemistry, a credit in physics, or a half a credit in earth and space science and a half of a science elective. And once we get, your students into school, we'll have a little conversation with them about what that 3rd year of science looks like so they can better understand it.
Okay, so let's talk about math. Students must earn 4 credits in math, and students must complete Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and they must have math in their final year of high school, their senior year. The high school math courses that were taken in middle school can be counted towards the 22 total credits. However, they are not calculated into the high school GPA. And then right now, 8th grade math teachers are working to make any final recommendations for that 9th grade math placement. So if there are any changes, I would think they would be reaching out to you shortly. And then any current Algebra 1 students who are struggling really should consider repeating Algebra 1 in their 9th grade year. And then for world language, students must complete 2 years of the same world language. As you can see, we offer American Sign Language, Chinese, French, German, and Spanish. And again, high school credit for level 1 and level 2 is given to those students, but it is not counted towards the GPA. Students who are really doing well, we encourage them to move on to the next level of that language. And students that are struggling should have a conversation with their teacher about whether retaking that class would be the best option for them.
For the health and PE requirements, there's 1 credit required, and there are 2 different options for this. Students can choose the Wellness 1 and Wellness 2 option. Those are 2 courses. They're a half credit each. And that's where students are combining health and PE within 1 semester. So they're going to be, for example, doing health curriculum one day and doing physical activity the next day. And if students choose that wellness option, they absolutely need to take Wellness 1 and Wellness 2 to meet the full health and PE requirement. The other option is to take a half credit of a PE activity class and a half credit of health. And then there is a flex option for the PE activity class. If students participate in 2 seasons of a Rochester Community School sport, or marching band, then they can flex out of that half credit of PE activity course. If they do that, they still need to take the half credit in health.
Okay, rounding out our required graduation requirements is going to be that 1 full credit in a visual, performing, or applied art. There are a variety of different ways that kids can meet that. Traditional art courses, music courses. There are some business courses that meet the VPA requirement, as well as some family and consumer science courses. And that'll round out those 18 required. You did see that there are 22 credits needed for graduation, and those remaining 4 credits would just come from whatever electives your children choose. And then finally, I know it's a little bit early to be thinking about graduation for your class, but some of your students might be interested in graduating with some sort of recognition. And so right now we have 3 different levels of achievement. The highest being our Scholars of Highest Distinction. That's for students that earn a GPA of a 3.9 or higher. They take a minimum of 4 AP courses and then get a standardized test score, a 32 on their ACT or a 1450 on the SAT. For the next category, Scholars of Distinction, that's for students who earn a GPA of a 3.8 to a 3.899, and they have a minimum of 3 AP courses and then standardized test scores of a 28 ACT or a 1310 SAT. And then that 3rd level is going to be our Scholars of Achievement, those students that earn a GPA of a 3.5 to a 3.799, a minimum of 2 AP courses, and then standardized test scores, a 26 on the ACT or a 1240 on the SAT. So for this, when your students take those AP courses do get a little bit of a grade boost. It is on a weighted GPA for AP courses. And so those GPAs for those distinctions are based on a weighted GPA. And it's also important to know that we don't round. So if a student's GPA is a 3.899, then they fall into that Scholars of Distinction category. We're not rounding up to that next level. And they've got to meet all 3 underneath of those to graduate with honors.
Okay, thank you, counselors. That's a lot of information, and parents, obviously this will be, you can watch this video over and over. If you missed something, you can rewind it to certain parts, so you'll have the information. And now you know who we are, so our emails are on our website. If you don't know our email addresses, you can always email us a question if you have a follow-up question, or call us, it's fine. The one thing about the 3 levels of distinction, I just want to make clear, like, obviously our district has to work out a lot of things right now on what this pandemic COVID situation will cause us to alter or change whatever we're doing. So we're working on all those things. So that's just what we have currently in place, and we'll see what goes from there. So in closing, I just want to make sure a partnership with us is truly the number one important thing to make sure your kids the most successful they can be, is making sure you're on Synergy, you're communicating with the teachers, you're watching attendance, you're watching grades, you know what's going on, and you reach out quick. You reach out soon to teachers. So, and our teachers are amazing. They're going to do anything in their power to make sure your kid's successful, but we need that partnership, because it can't be one-way street. It has to be a 2-way street. Communicate, keep us informed. We can't read minds. Believe it or not, a lot of times when something's going on, we don't know what's going on. So if something's going on with your child or your family, or you're struggling with something, just reach out to somebody, a counselor, an administrator, a teacher. It does not matter. We need to know so we can put our arms around your child during that tough time, put our arms around your family, and make sure we give the proper support to get through, because we all go through those difficult times in our lives. So, and we send out a news and notes every Friday. You should be getting those now. Mrs. Neiswanger, our secretary, should be sending you those news and notes, which are updates every Friday of what's going on in the school, what's coming up, those type of things. Get involved with our PTSA committees. We need you to keep Adams one of the best high schools around, and be part of our community. Even if you don't like sports, you'd be amazed at how many kids and parents come to football games, for example, in the fall, and they don't even they're not even into football, but it's just an amazing environment of Highlander pride. And it's not just our football team, it's the band, the marching band's there, the cheerleader, like there's just so much going on. Our student section, our Gold Rush leaders, it's just so much fun. And without that, school's not that much fun. So as you know, during this COVID-19 situation, it's minus all the assemblies and the homecoming and all this good fun stuff that we all enjoy doing. So be part of our environments. I challenge you for that. And I'm not going to really get into dates. This was on our presentation for 8th grade parent night, but we usually would have lunch visits. We obviously can't have lunch visits for our future Highlanders right now. And then registration orientation, don't save the date because we don't know when it's going to be. But if we were going to do on a normal calendar, a normal situation, we would be roughly the week of August 17th. So we'll be sending you all that information out once we determine what the fall is going to look like. Trust me, you're going to be sick of us sending you communications. So just pay attention to your emails. And the last thing is we are on social media. The reason why we're on social media is we like to highlight our students and our staff and our community. If you're not on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, for example, you get to see all the cool things that our students are doing and our staff. That's kind of why we use it. We don't use it for any other reason besides highlighting our Highlanders. So it's kind of cool. And I would like to say thank you to everybody on this, all the staff that was involved. I really appreciate you being part of this. And Highlanders, I know that this situation has put a lot of us, in a different situation, but don't worry, we're all in this together. Our staff is going through this for the first time together. Us administrators have never been through something like this. So you're not going to come back in the fall and just be, hey, you're supposed to just know everything and you're supposed to just move on. We're going to have plans in place. We're going to be patient. We're going to be flexible, and we're going to help each other through this the next 4 years. So please be reassured of that. And we want you to enjoy the summer, take a break, and then come back however we're coming back and when we're coming back with the fresh energy to get up and running and start your high school career on a positive note. So we'd like to thank you for listening. We all wish we could meet you in person instead of doing this virtual stuff, but we're doing the best we can under the situation, and we cannot wait to meet you, get to know you, and partner with you to have the best 4 years of your high schooler's life. So thank you, and hope to see you soon.